Namaskar everyone. Once again, welcome to Social Science class. Today, we are going to start with another interesting chapter in geography, that is, lifelines of national economy. In this chapter, we will learn how transport, trade, and communication they have helped in the development of our country. How the development of any country rely on these three factors. It's not about the present scenario. The development of any country in the world relies on these three factors since ancient time. You might be aware about Sirsa Suri Marg that is in Delhi. So when Sirsa Suri defeated Humayun, he constructed, we can say, the metal road, or in Hindi we say pakka road, damar ka road jo hota hai. And he was of the opinion or of the belief if the dynasty or the country that have metalled road, good communication and transportation, that country will flourish faster compared to any other country. So, let's begin with the chapter and learn how trade, communication, and transportation are called the lifeline of a nation. Here you can see the picture that contributes in the development of our country. India, the multicultural, unity in diversity, the development depends on the waterways, you can see, the roadways, the airways, right? The mass media, the railways. These are, we can say, the pillars on which the development of India rely. And the way India is developing is really remarkable. And all the credit goes to the various government policies that have been taken since last 2 decades. Our GDP growth has increased at a steady rate. Talking about how transport, communication and trade are complementary to each other. यानी ये तीनों पिलर जिसके ऊपर हमारे देश का डेवलपमेंट डिपेंड करता है, वो एक दूसरे से विपरीत नहीं है, वो एक दूसरे के साथ है, एक दूसरे के ऊपर आधारित है. एक का डेवलपमेंट दूसरे के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. राइट, सो लेट्स बिगिन and try to understand how they are interrelated with each other or how they are complementary to each other. Right? A very important topic from this chapter which you need to understand well. So first, talking about the very old saying of our country, of our culture, Vasudev Kutumbakam. कि ये पूरा विश्व जो है वो एक फैमिली के जैसा है, एक छोटे से गांव में तब्दील हो गया है और हर एक कंट्री उसका एक एक मेंबर जैसा हो गया है. तो ये किसके कारण पॉसिबल हो पाया है? राइट, इट हैज बिकम पॉसिबल बिकॉज ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रेड. व्हेन वी गो लॉन्ग बैक, when our Indus Valley civilization started, right? So what were the kings doing? they were doing the trade with the other civilization, with the people of Mesopotamia, with the Chinese, with the Egyptian, and nearby Arabic countries. It means our trade is not something of 10, 50, 100 years old. It is thousands and thousands of years old. And about the proof of that we have already learned in the lower grades, the chapter Harappan civilization. Second, because of them, that is because of the transportation, because of the communication, right, the trade has become very fast. Another example I would like to share. Today when we see the construction of our monuments, right, so if we go according to the Indian culture or architecture, we used to have a triangular temples. All the temples were triangular. But due to the trade, we went to the Greek. We had the trade relation with the Greeks. And therefore today, most of our temples are the combination of Indo-Greek architecture. So the main temple is triangular, but when we come, the entrance, they are of the dome shape. So this is how, because of the trade, even our culture, our art, architecture, all has flourished, has moved from one part of the world to another part of the world. And we get the knowledge about the different culture, food. That is the best thing, how we can acquire the knowledge about the different countries and their way of living. India, since ancient time, one of the leading trader and the developed country in the past, as we have already learned in 10th and even in 9th geography chapter number 1, if you remember, we had a very good trade relation with the different part of the world. The strategic position that India possesses gives her an advantage to have a very good relation with the European country, with the West Asian country, and with East Asian country. So because of that, India is lucky enough to have a very good network in trade. And that's why the socio-economic development of our country is quite faster compared to any other country. The trade reaches from, because of the transport and communication, from a local area, it reaches to a national, and from national, it reaches to international market. And why this is possible? This is possible because of a very good network of transport and communication. When we go back to the history, what was our source of communication? Either a person, right, whom we call as messenger. The king used to write down the message, rolled, and then that person used to take, and he used to walk, or he used to go on the horse. And he used to take ample numbers of days to reach where he has to deliver the message. Say from Morbi to Surat. So by car, approximately 6 to 8 hours. And if a person is supposed to go by horse, maybe a week or 15 days. So it was quite time consuming. Then we have seen the progress, right? Okay, from the person walking, then on the horse, then various animals like pigeon, eagle, they were used to send the message. And then we come more further, telegraph, telephone, then email, pager, right? And today we have the smartphone. This is how the changes have come. And because of that, very easily, sitting at home, we can do any business. Right? The contract between the two big giant companies takes place sitting at one place. See the present scenario. What is happening? Are we traveling too much? Not at all. all the meetings are taking place through conference. The seminars which were held now are converted into webinars, right? So sitting at home, we are able to attend so many yoga webinars, right? Maybe pedagogy, right? So whatever we want, we are getting at home, just at the click of the finger. And that all goes because of the development that has taken place in the communication, in the information and technology. And those days are gone when we were missing our relatives, our friends. Okay, once they leave India, they go to the abroad country. After 6 months or years or 2 years, they used to come. So we were quite excited at that time, no doubt. But today, there's little change. Whenever we miss, just we click and we are able to see them live on the mobile, on the internet, on the laptop. So all the credit for such closeness, bringing people together, tying them together, binding them together, goes to communication, information communication and technology, and our transportation. Within 24 hours, we are able to reach to any part of our world, which was not possible in the ancient time. So that's why these factors play an important role in the development of the country, and that's why these three are complementary to each other. Now we are going to learn about one by one about the various means of transportation. So first, the most used way of transportation is roadways. For shortest distance to the long journey, the maximum utilized is roadways. Here you can see the various roads that we have, the roads over the bridge. You can see in the mountain areas, in the plains, again. So the road journey here, you can see few clips I have for you, how well organized the roads are, because of which very easily within a short time we are covering the maximum distance. So let's begin with the roadways. Few more roadways you can see. These are in the desert areas. You can say this is our golden quadrilateral. You can see again in the mountainous area. You can see this type of roads generally you find in the Himachal Pradesh. Then you see in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra area, right? These are again the national highways. So you can see how well organized and beautifully they are constructed. Now the question arises. Efficient means of transport and communication are prerequisite for the development of country. Or we can say means of transport serve as lifeline of our country. Without them, it is very difficult. So why they are called so? So the first reason that we have are, they are the basic arteries of nation's economy, the main factor on which the development of an economy or the development of society, the development of culture, the development of trade depends on is transportation. The country that have very good network of transportation develops quite smoothly and at a very steady pace compared to any other country. They are the link production areas, right? So what they link the production area to the market, to different part of the place. It may be local to local, local to national, or local to international. So whatever is produced in our field, from that area, it is taken to the godown, it is taken to the market or imported to different part. Then transportation of raw material when we talk about roads, right? So if we have a good transportation, very easily the raw material can be transported from far off place to the site, to the industry. People travel from one part to the different part of the country, and finished product can be transported as per the demand of the market very easily and quickly. Because of transportation, we can see that there is a regional development. You all have learned about geography chapter number 1. In that we have seen that certain part of our country, they are no doubt deficit in resources. But when there can be similar or equal development of the whole country, when we have the good communication and transportation. Because of communication, whatever the deficit is there in any resource, the resource from A state can be transported to state B. And whatever is more in state B, that can be transported to state A. This is how, because of the trade, there is a equal balance, right? Equal development in the country and the various states of our country. Therefore, when we have a good transportation, there is equal development of all the three sectors, that is primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. All the three sectors develop with the same pace, and which is a very good sign for the development of our country. Now we are going to compare how roadways are comparatively better than railways, or what are the advantage of roadways over the railways. This we are going to learn, and very often this question is asked in the board for 5 marks. So please pay full concentration on this topic if you want to get the 5 marks. So the first thing, when we compare both the means of transport, so the cost of construction of roadways are comparatively cheaper than the railways. यानी जब रोड हम बनाएंगे और रेलवेज बनाएंगे, दोनों का कॉस्ट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन अगर हम कंपेयर करें तो रोड बनाने का खर्च बहुत ही कम होता है. So that's why in most of the places roadways are available, railways are not. Why? They are quite costly in construction. Second, if we want to travel for a short distance, or if we want to transport goods for a short distance, roadways are the best and the cheapest one for us. Third, they provide door-to-door service. When we talk about waterways, airways and railways, they have certain limitations. They cannot come nearest to your house or home. They will be quite far. But when we talk about roadways, either they will drop you just in front of your door or very near to your home. So that's why they provide door-to-door service. Take example, in many schools there is facility of van and bus. Both the facilities available. So if the streets are broad enough, even the bus pick up the student from the nearest bus stop, or even the bus go into the street to pick up the child and drop back again. So what they are doing, they are providing door-to-door service. Similar is case with the van service also. Okay, they pick up from your home, drop you you to the school and again back to the home. Then next point is act as feeder, or we can say the linking force. Let's take example. Okay, when we move from our home to the nearest railway station, or maybe nearest airport, or nearest seaport, how we are going to go? The answer is roadways. So if you want to do the journey by railway, you have to first take the auto, city bus, and you will reach there. Even to move to the airport, you need to go by road. Or even to reach to the nearest seaport, say nearest for us is Kandla or Navsari. So from here we have to go by roadways. So it means road transport act as a feeder or the link between the airways, roadways and railways. Next, when we talk about the construction in the mountainous area or uneven areas, hilly area. So constructing the road in undulating areas and dissected areas, it is quite easy compared to the railways. Take example in the Himalayan region, the foothills of Himalayas, or even we can say Kullu Manali, Shimla, when we go to Himachal Pradesh, right, when we go to Jammu and Kashmir, or even our north eastern state, roadways are easily constructed compared to the railways. Then in the slopy area when we talk about, so when we go to the northeastern states, most of the roads are quite slopy. So making such roads comparatively easy, but making railways in such area are quite difficult, because for train to go upstairs or in a slopy area, lot of energy is needed, and then also cutting the mountains or hills or making the tunnels, it's quite expensive. That's why in such area, especially the Himalayan regions, the railways are difficult to build. Further, when we talk about, they are good for short distance if you want to go. They are good for when we want to transport some perishable good. Perishable good यानी जो फटाफट खराब हो जाते हैं, तो वैसे चीजों को अगर हमें पहुंचाना है तो रोड फटाफट पहुंचा देते हैं. फाइनली लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस के लिए जो है रेलवेज बेटर है.